Good morning. Okay. Hope everyone is doing well. Did you turn this?
So good morning. Good morning, everyone. And I just want to say welcome to you all to today's session. We are in our final session. All right, so for today's session, we are going to be looking at the creative arts and aging. And so I'm very delighted about today's session. We are going to be starting momentarily. Just give me a second. All right, I understand that we're having a feedback, so we're just trying to get that resolved. Morning, as mentioned earlier, we're looking at the creative arts. And for those of us who joined yesterday, we had a panel of 4 gentlemen looking at men in aging. And so here at Mona Aging and Wellness Center, we are celebrating Careers in Aging Week. And this is something that is being done across the world in different countries as they celebrate different careers that persons work in the aging industry. And so for us in Jamaica, while it may not be a very common area, we are delighted to be able to share with the public career opportunities in aging and also to share with persons what it is that other persons have been doing in aging. So yes, yesterday we had our men online, and for those of you who are here today and you didn't get to watch the video yesterday, we invite you to just go back. You look on our channel and you will find it. It's called Through Men's Eyes, and you will get a very interesting session with the gentleman that we had yesterday. And so to close off this week, we did in fact have a number of events. Those were closed session events with students. We had a session earlier this week with some medical students, as well as some final year social work students, and we introduced them to careers in aging. And so today, for our final session for this week, we are going to be having a session on engaging older adults through arts. And I'm very delighted to have our special guest in studio with me this morning, and her name is Miss Shelly-Ann Thompson. So Shelly-Ann Thompson is the founder of Golden Designs, a company that caters to senior citizens in Jamaica. She founded the company with the belief that seniors have the skills and the potential to continue to contribute to their communities as well as their country in their old age. So, very often people think that because you're old, you can't do nothing, you can't contribute, you must be put aside. Well, that's not what Ms. Thompson believes. And so she started Golden Designs. And so this is a unique approach using the arts as well as communication as a means of engagement and economic empowerment for seniors. The company offers classes in visual arts such as painting, drawing, crocheting, and social media computer literacy. She resigned from her career full-time media training job during the pandemic. We're seeing stuff here, to pursue her passion and grow Golden Designs. She's also an author, and her book is called My Heart Sank: Overcoming Grief, Loss, and Challenges, and that was released last August. I wanted to notice something: pandemic. In her role as Senior Citizens Arts Administrator, big title, she works to create and manage programs and events that supports the need and interest of senior citizens. She has experience organizing arts and cultural events, coordinating volunteer programs, and managing fundraising and development initiatives. Shelly-Ann is passionate about providing opportunities for senior citizens to engage with the arts and culture, and she works to create inclusive and accessible programs that cater to a diverse range of interest and ability. She coins what her work is as being Creative Elder Engagement, CEE, and her title is Senior Citizens Arts Administrator. Shelly-Ann, I really just want to say welcome to our Careers in Aging session this morning. You know, a lot of the things that I have been reading about you, I must say that as far as I'm concerned, is really a first from a career perspective in Jamaica. And so I want to welcome you to the session this morning and just tell us, just jump right in. Why did you decide to make such a shift in the middle of a pandemic when people are, you know, we know about the Great Resignation and people walking away from their jobs, but why did you walk away from something where you could be earning good money to be focused on seniors? Why such a shift?
Thank you so much, Dr. McCoy Davis and your team at the Mona Aging and Wellness Center for having me on your week of activities, Careers in Aging Week. I am indeed thrilled to be here to share with you and your viewers about my venture into aging. Why? I am still trying to search for that answer.
Okay.
But what I could narrow it down to be is passion. I have a passion for senior citizens. I was raised by my grandmother, and I have lived among a number of seniors. So I thought that they were very much undervalued, and they were very much misunderstood, and there was just so much that could be done with them. And I thought that, listen, no one is doing it, so why don't I? Seeing that I have the requisite skills and I have the understanding, and even though it's new, I'm still also trying to learn about this career in aging. But I thought it was something important for me to do, and I guess persons can understand that when something is tugging at you to say, do this, you have no other thing to do but just to respond to that call.
Okay, great. What kind of response have you been getting from your colleagues about this shift from mainstream media? And I mean, you were trained at, I think, Edna in visual arts. How do people respond to you when you now say to them, I'm working with older adults for older adults? What kind of response are you getting?
It's pretty interesting. So my media colleagues, some of them do say to me, are you sure this is what you want to do? And even this week, a senior member in the media community said to me, Shelly, if you want to come back into mainstream media, there's a job here for you.
Okay.
We're always willing to accept you back into the field. But I don't truly consider myself that I've left media, because as I said before, what I try to do is to transfer those skills that I would have garnered as a media practitioner into aging. So a number of seniors, they want their rights to be told. They want to understand better, access to information, access to necessary issues that will actually improve their lives. So what I try to do is to incorporate some form of communications aspect into my business so seniors can be better informed. Also, the public can also be better informed as it pertains to seniors and their welfare. So I may not be working in mainstream media, but there's still some element of media component into what I do.
Great. So help me to understand, you mentioned that you take the kind of skill set that you'd have had from your professional training, but what kind of soft skills do you think are important for persons to have when they want to engage with seniors?
Definitely patience. That is very important. Patience and tolerance, and especially as someone who is not yet a senior and may not understand what a senior goes through, it is very critical for us as the younger people to exercise that level of patience, to exercise that level of tolerance when it comes to working with seniors. You have to listen effectively. And you have to listen from an aspect as to not to respond, but to understand. And so those are some of the critical skills I realized that working in aging is very important, and being proactive as well. So upon communicating with seniors, and if, for instance, they may share what their issues are, is to think, how can I help this person? So it will show that level of proactiveness to say, oh, you could maybe get assistance from this particular center or through this particular medium. So in terms of soft skills, definitely those communication skills when it comes to listening skills, being proactive, being patient, being tolerant, very critical.
Okay, great. So I wanted to walk us through what it is that you do with these seniors in the session. Based on some of the things that I shared about you earlier, you seem to be having them on a day-to-day basis, or maybe how many days per week do you have these seniors, and what exactly happens?
Well, just like with seniors, it's very it's not so much structured. So initially we started off doing 4 days per week. Based on our research, we found that seniors are not likely to come out on a Monday and a Friday. So we started having our classes Tuesdays to Thursdays. And then we realized that most of them want to do all our classes. So we said, you know what, let us just select a day in which we can have all the sessions, and they can dedicate this particular day to be able to participate in all the different art activities that we have. So it doesn't prevent them from missing out from Bible study, prayer meeting, fasting, or going to the market. So currently what we do is to offer arts classes on a Thursday, and we take them from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. and they participate in painting, drawing, crocheting, computer literacy class. And we have a curriculum. I tell my students, you are coming to class, you're not coming to somewhere to play. It's not a daycare center.
Okay.
You are coming to class, and up on the end of this program, so we have it on an 8-week shift.
Okay.
So at the end of the 8th week, you should be able to say, I learned something about painting. I learned about portrait. I learned about landscape. I learned how to do figure drawing, something. You should be able to tell your children, grandchildren, or church member or neighbor, something that you have garnered during these 8 weeks. And so each of our course, there is a curriculum. They do get homework. Yes.
This is serious.
It's very serious. They do get homework to do, and they have to report as to what they have done the following week. And we also ask them to journal as to what has been the impact of this activity on you. When you are away from us those 6 days, what did you do during those 6 days? And so that is pretty much in terms of how we take them through the program and the activities that they do. So while we are, let me put a disclaimer, while we are very serious as it pertains to the curriculum, we do understand that some of the seniors come to our program because they're just seeking a hobby. They're not seeking another career. They're done with working very hard. They just want a hobby. They want social interaction. They want to feel involved. So what we say to them, okay, you are taking this particular class as a hobby, fine, we won't be so very hard on you. However, you still have to do the work. You still have to do something when you come. You can't just come and just chit chat because you're lonely. You still have to do the work.
So now I do understand why your title is Senior Citizens Arts administrator, because I'm getting, this is almost like school for them, but school in a relaxing way.
Yes.
So really, for us in academia, there is something that is called, I think, the third age university, where older adults, they go back to university, or they go somewhere and take classes, which are, not just trivial things, but something of the serious nature. So I want to ask you, how do your seniors perform in your program so far?
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I am so proud of them. Can I tell you?
Wow.
The artwork that they do, that they complete, it's phenomenal. I'm telling you, if you put it beside some of the great artists in Jamaica, you would not be able to tell that the particular work was done by a senior citizen. And very interesting, very, very interesting. Most of the seniors in our programs, especially for the painting class, they will tell us that they did very poor in art when they were at high school, or they never did art at high school. So they come to the program with this level of, I'm just doing it because I want to be out of the house. But when they realize the talent that lies within them, they get very much involved, and they are now pressuring their children and grandchildren to shop for them online. They want their drawing pencil.
Okay.
They want their canvas. They want their paints. Yes, it's
definitely really a new hobby.
Yes, it's a new hobby for them.
Great. So for you, how has working with these old adults, how has that impacted you?
I tell my seniors all the time that I think they're giving me a crystal ball into my future.
Mm-hmm.
And I am extremely grateful for them. I think they're doing more for me than what I'm doing for them. Mm-hmm. Because while we are doing those engagement through the art, they are sharing stories.
Okay.
And for me, that is the beauty of the program. They're sharing stories about motherhood. They're sharing stories about growing up through some rough times. They're sharing stories about workplace conflicts. And they're also sharing the tactics that they use, the solutions that they implemented to overcome those challenges. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, Mm-hmm. So if I should come across something like this is how I would actually try to navigate the issue. So for me personally, it's very fulfilling, it's very rewarding, because I am learning from them. They're giving me a pathway into my future as to what to expect. And it makes me realize that issues and challenges in the world is not new.
Right.
When the seniors talk about challenges in the 1990s and going all the way back to challenges in the 1950s, it makes you say to yourself, hello, if they could overcome,
right,
why can't I?
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So one of the things I want to understand, why art? What benefit is art to older adults? Why should an older adult even consider doing art at this stage?
My background, as you mentioned, is media. And initially, when I wanted to go into the field of aging, I considered doing a book, because that's my background. Writing is my background. And then I realized that I would be sharing their stories, but I wouldn't be creating an impact on seniors. It would be more about sharing the stories of seniors, but the seniors themselves, their lives would not have been improved. And so while I was going to Edna Manley and having that discussion with my lecturers, they said to me, well, you're at the Edna Manley School of the Visual and Performing Arts, so you need to include an art component. And that's what I did. I went back to the drawing board and I thought about it. And I said to myself, what form of art activities could I implement that would be of benefit to the seniors? And I must say I'm very thankful to be implementing the visual arts, because the impact of the arts on seniors is mental, it's physical. There are so many beauty that comes out of just being engaged through the arts for seniors. There's mental benefits, there's social benefits, there's physical benefits, there's emotional benefits. There are so many benefits that come out of when they engage in the art. It may seem simple, but an artist or artiste will tell you how relieved they feel after being individual or performing arts. And it's not only, the art is not only relegated for the professionals.
Mhm.
Anyone can be engaged in art to really derive those benefits that will make them feel better and be a better human being overall.
Right. Mhm. So basically, your one of the takeaway points is that irrespective of who the person is as an older adult, they can be engaged in the art. And I know that the research has also shown that the creative elements, creative arts also helps with cognitive persons who have cognitive impairments, for example, just to help them to maybe better remember things. And also it is a form of engagement, as you're saying. Sometimes, especially coming out of the pandemic, we do have a lot of older adults who would have been home alone. So being able to come out and engage with others is a perfect opportunity for them as well. So in terms of the future, do you think that there is a greater need for similar type of programs throughout the country? What are you seeing in terms of that?
Definitely. Since I've ventured into this career, I'm actually surprised that there aren't more active aging activities for seniors. People are living longer, and they're living longer healthy. It's not as back in the days when persons at age 70 was, at an age 70, 80-year-old person now is very strong. They can compete against someone who is 40 years old. So I definitely see this program in terms of engagement activities for the elders, something that can be spread across nationally. We can engage our seniors because they do want to be engaged. And persons, after a while, after working for so many years, for 30, 40 years, they do become burnt out. They do want to retire, but it doesn't mean that they should retire and go home and sit and watch soap opera all day. They can do more than gardening. They can do more than being a daycare grandma. So engagement activities is definitely needed. I think it's needed in our institutions for older adults. It's also needed at a national level in terms of activities in which seniors can be engaging. And it's also important for us to have that conversation with seniors to find out from them, how would you want to be engaged? Because as you rightly said earlier, in terms of coming out of the pandemic and that social disconnect that burdened our seniors, where they were told to turn your yard, understand, and now they are disconnected from their friends, they're from their family, and for a number of them, they now have to be learning how to reconnect, how to socialize again. And it's not like us, the younger folks who were connected via social media. A number of these persons, they were connected to their friends by just seeing each other. They knew that on a particular day we will meet at the market, on a particular day we will meet at church, on a particular day we will meet maybe at the store. So that was taken away from them. They now need to be engaged in terms of just improving themselves and making life better for them. So engagement through the art, engagement activities for our seniors, active aging is something that I think we should really push as a society, as Jamaicans are living longer and Jamaicans are living healthier into older age.
All right. So in terms of intergenerational opportunities, do you think that there is a need for even using the arts for us to engage the younger generation with the older adults? Sometimes, you almost feel like there is a divide. Them are old people, we are young people, we are doing thing kind of thing, and the two don't meet. So how can we, for example, use the creative arts to bridge that divide?
It's definitely, first of all, there has to be tolerance. And it's tolerance on both levels. So the senior has to be tolerant and understanding that though I'm a senior and I may be wiser, I am open to having that younger person participating with me or socializing with me or teaching me what they know. And then the younger person as well have to exercise that level of tolerance to say, though I may know this, there are a number of other benefits I can gain by being engaged with this senior citizen. It is something that we practice at Golden Designs. It's actually one of our mantra, intergenerational collaboration. So I'm proud to say that only one of our 4 teachers is older. 3 of our teachers in our program are actually under the age 30.
Okay.
So, and that is something that we really emphasize, because we think that if we can just start at our company by showing that intergenerational collaboration works, then we are creating a ripple effect in society. And I must share with you that a number of the young people who have worked with us, they leave learning a skill from a senior person. Right. And they also become friends on social media.
So you're definitely having that intergenerational engagement as well as transfer of knowledge.
Right. Yes, the transfer of skills is so important. And so the seniors, they come with this nurturing and loving and patient personality, which sometimes just smother down and just refine the young person who is really want to get at it in life and want to achieve this and achieve that. And the younger person, the older person now, through the interaction, will say, oh, my daughter is just like you, but you know what I said to my daughter? Or this is what I would recommend. While the seniors now learning that art form. And also what we find too is that the younger person, they never saw themselves in the capacity to train an older adult. They thought that because it's a part of our school system, we must admit, we don't necessarily train our people to teach older adults. They're more trained to go into the traditional school system. So when they come now into our program and they're training older adults, they realize that they have the skill sets in which they can actually train people outside of that traditional cohort.
So you're also highlighting to us that there is definitely a need to target the older population as a market for education. That we definitely can meet their needs.
Lifelong learning.
There you go. That's right. So I just want our audience just to bear in mind that when we talk about older adults in Jamaica, we're talking about persons 60 years and older. But I wanted to ask, because you're talking so much about these persons that you are engaged with, what is the age of your oldest participant, or the oldest person who has been in your program?
105 years old.
What do you mean?
Yes.
And what did this person do in your program?
They painted
Wow.
a sunset by the beach side. Yes. And I've actually taken a picture of that artwork to a number of seminars I've been to, and I've asked persons, can you guess the age of the person who actually created or did this painting? And let me tell you, I've never had an instance where someone said the person is older than 85.
Wow.
I usually get, 62, 71. And I'll go like, no, 105 years old. That's the oldest person we have had in our program. We did a session, a one-on-one session with that person. We taught them painting, and it was phenomenal. And the family wants us to come back to meet with that person, because that's something that we do too. In our program, we will have one-on-one sessions, because as you will understand, there are some relatives who do not want their senior relative to be outside. Because the truth is, there's still COVID, and there's still a number of viruses in our society, as well as a number of our seniors who we interact with. They have illnesses.
Comorbidities, right?
Exactly. Thank you. And so they will contact us to say, can you do a one-on-one session with my grandma, with my relative? And we were very surprised that we were welcomed to this person's home, and we engaged that person. So yeah, but so the average age of the participants in our program, we find, is between 73 and 78.
73 and 70. So I just want to encourage our viewing audience to be mindful of the fact that, you know, age doesn't matter. You can't use age as an excuse as to why it is that you wouldn't want to get involved in art as an older adult. And based on what Shelly-Ann is sharing with us, I mean, or her seniors are doing well. So, I mean, even if you can't get to her program to be a part of it as an older adult, here is a suggested hobby for you that you can engage in. And for the younger persons who have the talent and the skill set in the creative arts, that there are opportunities for you as well to become engaged. So at this time, I just want to make a quick shout out to persons who are in our social media land. So persons who are joining us via YouTube, we are delighted to have you. And be sure if you have any questions or comments, you definitely can put that in the chat and we will definitely get back to you with regards to that, if you have any questions or comments. So big question for you now, Shelly-Ann. Of course, man, you must can answer this.
I get a little nervous sometimes.
You get a little nervous anyway.
Questions, you know?
Never mind. What has been your most memorable moment working in this area?
The wisdom shared.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot be quantified. As a young person, just the stories that they share about overcoming their challenges. I look forward to going to classes on a Thursday because I want to know what new can I learn today. And those buckets of wisdom is just priceless.
Okay.
So that's my most memorable experience on this journey, is just learning from the seniors, hearing their stories of growth, of survival is rewarding.
So if it is that you're now talking to our audience, what kind of recommendation would you give, for example, to somebody who is considering working in this area?
Definitely do your research. Do your research as it pertains to what seniors like, because they do have their preferences, and not because they're seniors and they're retired, it means that anything that you suggest they should accept.
Mm-hmm.
So do your research as to where seniors are, how can you connect with seniors, what are their preferences, what do they like, and as well as you have to do a self-assessment to say, a career in aging, is this something that I would want to do? Because we have to be very frank with ourselves. It's not a sexy career yet.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And thank you for the yet. Yes. Because in Jamaica, it is not yet. But when you go somewhere else, a first world country,
yes,
it is something that is very popular. And in fact, jobs that are in high demand.
Rightly said, because I can tell you this, I do get a lot of requests from international agencies and institutions wanting to find out if I can collaborate or if I can come and work with them full time. And I have to pull back to say, no, this is something I want to build out in my country. As a developed country, you already have these systems in place, you have these programs in place. It is not in my country, but my country people, my older people in my country, they need these kinds of programs too. So definitely, as someone who wants to go into the aging field, they have to do that self-assessment to say, is this something that I would want to do? Because it is not glamorous. Persons may think that you're crazy. It's not a lot of money. To be honest, it's not a lot of money. So you have to really be sure that this is something that you want to do, and you're not only going after it for monetary gain, but you're also going after it for a purpose and with a passion and with understanding.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, the passion has to be there, because it's not about the money, as you're saying. So you definitely have to know that this is something that you are really interested in. So just gonna do some quick comments now from our YouTube page, and the persons are just saying, well, I'm seeing a wow, loving the session. I'm so happy to have been a part of the seminar last year. Well, last Saturday. So this is something that is talking about Saturday. Shirley, what happened on Saturday? Tell the rest of us so we know what happened on Saturday.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that you all missed the phenomenal cybersecurity awareness seminar for senior citizens that we had on Saturday. The seniors turned out and they learned how to protect themselves online. They learned how to create passwords. And what was so magnificent, a few of the seniors there, they didn't have email addresses. And they were being pressured by financial institutions or their relatives to get an email account. So we were able to create email addresses for a few of the seniors who attended and show them how to get passwords on their devices to protect their data. And that was just a phenomenal experience, just being able to empower our seniors to be safe online and for them to have a better understanding as it pertains to cyber awareness.
That's great. Well, you clearly would have made an impact, and so this person is speaking about it. Where do you see the future of your work in the area going? Any visions for the future? Big dream?
We have a vision. We are very bold people at Golden Design. So we have a vision in which no senior citizen in Jamaica should be bored. We don't want no older adult, nobody who is 60 years and older to be bored.
Okay. Should not be bored.
Should not be bored. There should be something that you can do or something that you're engaged in. So that is our mission. We want to engage every single senior citizen from the length and breadth, from east to west, who want to be engaged. Yes, it's a bold vision, but that's actually our mission, that we want seniors to be engaged. We want them to know that not because you're retired, not because you are over the age of 60, it means that you should be sitting on your veranda looking out every day to see what car or who is passing the gate. There should be some form of engagement activity that you can do. And we do believe that the arts is an excellent vehicle for engagement. It's something that you can do on your own. It's something that you can do at any hour of the day. A few of my seniors will tell you that sometimes when they wake up in the dead of the night, when they can't sleep, they will take up their crochet needles and their yarn and they just start crocheting. Persons have said when they're at home during the day and there's no one to talk to, they're painting, they start to draw. And that's what we want. We want seniors to be engaged. So that's our mission. We want to take it across the country for seniors to be engaged through the art. This is something that you can do on your own time, in your own space, and with limited income.
So, Shirley, as you shared, I just want to paint a picture for persons to understand. Sometimes persons are busy doing something and we don't understand that it does fit into a bigger picture. So yesterday, I made mention of the National Policy for Senior Citizens that was launched in September 2022. Now, that policy would speak to older adults in Jamaica and the vision that from a government perspective that is expected for them for the next however number of years. But you are now talking about a country where no senior is bored. And that ties in nicely because that aligns well with the whole element of social engagement and the moving away from social isolation, and for persons to understand even that by being busy doing something, keeping your mind occupied, it has health implications for you as well. So while you're busy doing the creative arts, you're also aligning yourself to policy and making contributions to the actual outcome of the policy. So sometimes we think about what we're doing and we just see it based on where we're at, and we don't recognize that, you know, there are branches, and it
Right.
actually
Because
greater implications.
if you take, for instance, one of the benefits of being engaged in the arts as a senior citizens, it's emotional benefits. And one of those emotional benefits is improved memory.
Right.
So when a senior citizen is able to consistently improve their memory, it means that the wisdom that they have garnered over the years as a productive citizen, they can now transfer those skills back to society. They can become engaged in their communities. They can become engaged in church. They can become better engaged as a relative, because there are so many things that a grandchild can learn from their grandparents.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So when you engage in the art and you improve your memory, it means that your memory is still intact and you can share that knowledge with everyone. So it's definitely a benefit to our society just from that perspective alone.
That's right. That's definitely right. And I just want to make a shout out, because I know that some of our audience, for example, may actually be caregivers of older adults, and you say, okay, you know, you know, the person is in bed, so all I need to do on a daily basis is just get up and ensure the person is groomed, as in the person has had a bath, and the person gets something to eat. But the big question is what happened in between those times. So just to encourage persons that irrespective of what it is that your the older adult in your charge is doing, whether this is a relative, a parent, or, you know, just a friend, that there are different activities. So it's not just about the arts now. It's a matter of engaging the persons in different activities, whether it be music, or whatever it is, just to keep the person engaged, keep their brains engaged, and also, you know, talking, having, you mentioned that as they work, as your students work, they also share that knowledge. So that back, you know, that sharing of information is something that is also very important. So as we wrap up this session, Shelly, I just want to have you, are there any final thoughts or comments that you'd want to share with the audience at this time?
Definitely consider and career in aging. It's rewarding. It's beyond what you would expect it to be. It's challenging, but there are definitely more benefits than the challenges. And I would say to your listeners as well, particularly your older adults, viewers, persons who are 60 years, because yeah, true, we have to accept that not a lot of persons know what we mean when we say senior citizen.
Right.
We want our senior citizens to understand that you are loved, you are valued, you still have something to contribute to your country, to your family, to your community. Be bold, senior citizen. And I don't have to tell my senior citizen that they should exhibit respect, because they already know this. But share your knowledge with your relatives, with your communities, whomever you interact with. So that would be my parting words, that younger persons do consider a career in aging, because it's a roadmap for you. You're going to definitely see into your future. Even if you don't want to go into it full time like myself, it could be something that you consider or partake in part time, on a part time basis. You could start out by volunteering at a home, or just volunteering to be to hang out with a senior citizen. Because that is something that I also encourage with younger person who work within our company, because sometimes they come in and they never, believe you me, they never interacted with an older person. So they don't know how to communicate, how to socialize with that older adult. And I will say to them, is there an older adult within your church or within your community? Just go and spend a day with them. So that is something that I would also suggest to persons who are considering going into this field who may not have training or background in aging. You could start by volunteering where you know seniors are, or just being a company for a senior citizen who is close to you. And yeah, to my seniors, you are loved, you are appreciated, you are valued. Please continue to contribute to society.
All right, great. So I really just want to say a special thank you to Shelly-Ann for leading us, sharing with us about this whole element of aging and the creative arts and how it is that we can engage our older adults. Very much appreciative. And as was mentioned earlier, this is something that is pretty novel in our country. So we really want to be able to see more of this kind of service where we don't have seniors who are bored. So clearly, you may not be able to do it all by yourself. So there is opportunity, there is scope for other persons to get involved. You don't have to be doing what Shelly-Ann is doing, but you can find your niche. You can find out what it is that is important to older adults and to be able to do it. All right. So thank you very much again to Shelly-Ann, and of course to the Mona Aging and Wellness Center Planning Committee led by our director, Duladel Willie Tyndale, as well as other persons, our IT team, Dwayne Fagan and Dr. Willie Tyndale again today. So we just want to say thank you to all of these persons for being a part of today and making today happen. And of course, to you, our viewing audience, we really appreciate you. Be sure to like, subscribe, and to share this video with others, as I am sure they too will enjoy it. Thanks again for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your day. God bless.
Thank you.